That is the drug tank. Yes, it's real. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I almost missed this question. Of all time, semester at C. Am I going again? Hey everybody, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. Hi, if you're new here, I am Gracie. Based on the title of this video, I'm sure that you know I'm going to be answering all of your questions from semester at sea. That's right, if you are new here, then you wouldn't know that I was on the spring 2020 voyage of semester at sea amid a pandemic, fleeing countries and only doing 4 countries out of the 12 that we were supposed to go to. Lots of crazy things, but still the best 2.5 months of my entire life, and I'm here to just address all of your questions, comments, and concerns and sort of go through them. Shelby asks, how did you upload without any Wi-Fi? Can you talk about how that works on the ship? So I didn't upload on the ship at all, and even my bosses said if I were to have purchased the full Wi-Fi package, it would take about 29 hours to maybe upload a 4-minute video. So I decided not to do that and not to buy the Wi-Fi and to be like every other kid, just like without Wi-Fi and upload in port. That being said, there was a $600 option that you could pay for to purchase the full Wi-Fi package, and that's just ridiculous. I know a couple people who did it and I love them still, but I'm like, oh, I absolutely loved being disconnected. I loved not having to worry about emailing people back, like for business stuff for YouTube, or to really keep up on it. It allowed me to sort of space myself out from my work. And while I love YouTube, it is like a little bit of work sometimes, and it was just wonderful to really connect with people on such a different level because you don't have Wi-Fi, so you're like forced to play games, you're forced to interact in different ways, and you know, first 2 weeks in, like that's what you're used to and that's what you love. It's like really comforting to not be able to bring your phone everywhere and things like that. So it was great not having Wi-Fi, and I didn't upload on the ship. So I mean, you can get the full Wi-Fi package if you want. The Wi-Fi is so slow anyway that it doesn't matter. Even I know the kids who had the full Wi-Fi packages are like not worth the money because you don't get like better Wi-Fi, you just get a more of an allowance of it. As the ship went on, they sort of like extended our megabytes some days so we'd get some more time on social media, but still, like even with the 50 megabytes or even 100 megabytes of Wi-Fi that we could get on a daily basis, I couldn't even upload like one 10-second video Instagram story. So if that tells you how terrible the Wi-Fi is, like there's that. Someone asked, did I get my money back? So it's a very long story with how they had to do the refunds. Basically, semester C is a nonprofit institution, so it was a bit more difficult for that whole thing to work, and like you want to keep your crew on board and things like that. So we did end up getting a prorated refund, which I guess I can let you guys know. For my specific cabin, you got one based on your cabin type, so like how much you paid, because the nicer cabins cost more money. So you could be paying anywhere from like $26,000 for a cabin up to $32,000. I don't really know what anybody below me got, but I know for me it was close to $3,200 that we were able to get back in a check, and that was like for the room and board that we weren't going to be using for the last like 40 days on the ship. What was your favorite place to go to? Would you go again? Also, I love your videos. Thank you. My favorite place, oh, it's so hard because I thought China was gonna be my favorite place, hands down. I took Mandarin, Chinese in high school, like as my language, so I sort of just was so enthralled with the culture then and like knowing some of the language and whatever. But RIP China, that's sad. We're not gonna talk about it, but every place was just so different. I think we really got to appreciate Vietnam a lot because we were there for 11 days and it was like longer than we have been in any other country. But I also really did love South Africa, which was a dream. I don't know, I think off the top of my head, and probably because it's like the last place I went, I'm gonna say South Africa. Like being able to go to the elephant sanctuary and play with elephants and go on safari and jump out of planes and jump off record-breaking bridges, and it was just gorgeous. I don't know, I loved it. I would definitely go back to every single country that I visited. I mean, maybe not Mauritius, just because I feel like we did everything on Mauritius. But I loved it. I loved every second of it. Oh, this is a good question. Since there's just 7 minutes of Wi-Fi, how does coursework/research work? Okay, so I probably should have explained this. There are some websites, there's 2 different Wi-Fis on the ship. So one is like the SAS internet, which is like your 7 minutes, and the other one is called like NV World Odyssey, and that's the one you connect to connect to your like C-mail and home port, which is kind of like where you see all the daily updates and things. And so on that internet, that World Odyssey internet, you got like Wikipedia, you got BBC, like there's a couple things that you were able to have, still pretty limited, but most of the things the teachers provided on Nextcloud and Moodle, which are just like two platforms that we use through Semester at Sea to do coursework and things like that. Also, you like had required textbooks, so a lot of those were in those textbooks, but anything that you needed, they were able to provide for you. Otherwise, there were 4 computers in the library that had absolutely unlimited Wi-Fi connection, and that's where on the ship you were able to like plan travel or look up things. Like people who are super interested in the news like could look up those kinds of things, especially with the coronavirus going on. As the time on the ship went on, travel just got so crazy because people were having to switch plans all around because obviously the route was getting insane. So they ended up limiting the computers. You had to like sign up for times. You got 15-minute time slots, or if you were on 2 academic computers, it was 30-minute time slots. So there were 2 for travel and 2 for academic toward the middle of the voyage, just to make it easier. But before all of that happened, it was just kind of like free-for-all, stay on for as long as you want kind of a thing. I just remember one morning we had to book something for Vietnam, and we woke up at 4 a.m. to get on the computers, and still the library was packed. We were like, are you kidding me? Like, who is up at 4 a.m. on these computers? So they were a pretty hot commodity to have unlimited Wi-Fi. But if you didn't need to like book travel, it was pretty easy to get on one of those academic computers and look up something. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I almost missed this question. How was the food? You guys, that is one thing. Bring snacks. I brought half a duffel filled with snacks. Just all my favorite things I knew I would love to eat. And by the time we got to Hawaii, they were pretty much gone. So we stocked up in Hawaii, and by the time we were in Japan, like, we stocked up with snacks in Japan because we were all out of snacks. The ship food is not the greatest. Now, there were some meals and some nights where I was like, beautiful, love it, because I love food. But there were just sometimes we were like, what is this? We're not touching this. We're going up to the grill and just buy like chicken burgers and things like that. They're like $2. So in the scheme of things, not eating versus spending $2 on a chicken burger with cheese and like $2 on fries, definitely worth it. There also was specialty dining, which was $30. You got a glass of champagne and a 5-course meal, and usually you use that for like special occasions. So I went for my friend Maddie's birthday, we went for my birthday, we went for my friend Jimmy's birthday. We went just to go one time. So there's definitely things like that that people do, and that food is incredible. Oh my word. I just remember the first time we went, I got this amazing salmon as my entree, and I was like, I don't know why I would ever want to eat other ship food again. 30 bucks, like, so worth it. So definitely get your seats in for specialty dining. And the cake on the ship, ice cream cake, delicious. And I don't even like strawberry ice cream. It's chocolate and strawberry ice cream cake. I will never steer you wrong, and this is one of those things I'm not steering you wrong in. Get that ice cream cake. Somebody asks, can you return to the ship drunk? What happens to those students? So I know it's like a big thing that you hear about is the drunk tank. Yes, it's real. Semester C calls it the observation room, but it's most definitely the drunk tank to all the students. Basically, when you're on the ship, there's very, very, very limited alcohol for students. They'll have like wine nights, or they call them beverage nights, I guess. And we only had a few of them on the ship. I don't know how many exactly there were. I don't know, but it's pretty much, I guess, watered down wine. People said it didn't taste good, so it's like, okay, that's cool. That's kind of like where they limit you. You get 2 drinks. They say 2 drinks per night. It's not 2 drinks per night. It's 2 drinks when they have drink night, and there can be drink night on the pool deck or in the dining halls. And so that's kind of how that works. But when you are on land, you can kind of go do whatever you want as long as you're within the legal drinking age of the countries. Every country we went to, we were in drinking age. I wasn't in legal drinking age in Japan because I was 19 and the drinking age was 20, but other than that, like, everybody on the ship pretty much like can drink. Basically, when you're in port, you don't have to like stay in a hotel or stay somewhere else. You can like go out in the city where the ship is docked and return back. So when we were in Vietnam especially, it was docked right in Ho Chi Minh. So the people who spent time in Ho Chi Minh City, like, we slept on the ship those nights. So that's kind of like what I think of. So if people were to have been drinking and come back to the ship, you can get on if you're like fine, but if you're too intoxicated, they'll actually take you into the drunk tank or the observation room, and you'll have to like be watched by one of the RDs, which is a resident director, kind of people like an RA at a college. They call them RDs. And it's really funny because in Mauritius, that's kind of when we found out that we weren't going anywhere else but South Africa. So a lot of the students on one of the days that we were there, just like, there were a lot of people in the drunk tank that day. I never went to the drunk tank. None of my super close friends went to the drunk tank, but it definitely like is a thing, and you can get in trouble, and you do actually. I think you have to like pay a fine and write a note, especially if you're like really bad. One of the boys on our voyage actually got kicked off the ship because he was too aggressive in the drunk tank. So definitely try to avoid that at all costs. Be smart, be safe. It really is for the well-being of the students, but it's funny because like people want to get drunk tanked, so that's some people's goals, but that's definitely a thing. I'm just gonna expand really quick on those drink nights because I know that's quite a few questions. It's about the 2 drinks a night. Like I said, that's not a thing. It's when they decide to have drink night and you get limited to 2 drinks, and there's kind of no way around that, and you pay, I think it's $4 for a drink, and they have like beer or white wine or red wine, and that's kind of that. I'm not too skilled on knowing the stuff for drink nights, but if you go to fancy dining, you also get a glass of champagne. So if you mix a glass of champagne with a drink night, you could potentially have 3 drinks, but that is the absolute max semester at sea will give you. I heard this is because there was like a lot of stuff that went down when it wasn't a limited drink number and students just were like running around the ship drunk and stupid. I don't really know. They're all probably rumors, but there definitely are some fun stories that go along with that. Somebody asked about semester at sea traditions. So there are 2 pretty big traditions. The one is definitely the biggest tradition, and that is Neptune Day. When you cross the equator, you become a shellback. It's like, I guess, a thing that they do in the Navy and other things like that. Semester at sea participates in that, and basically you have to get slimed, jump in the pool, swim across, kiss a fish, and then you go and you kiss to the king's ring, bow to Queen Minerva's, and then they like put the sword on each shoulder and you turn to a shellback, and then you just get to like hang out the rest of the day and kind of like party by the pool and things like that. And there's also Sea Olympics, which to me was probably the most fun day on the ship ever. You better be involved. You better have so much fun because it's great, and sea captains put a lot of work into Sea Olympics, especially this voyage when things were getting canceled and Sea Olympics got like shoop, super moved up. So we just kind of had to go with that on a whim, and it was amazing. I loved being the Adriatic sea captain. It was great. Yeah, we also had Miles and Johnny with me, who I love so dearly. I miss you boys. And that was just such a fun day. And you compete with your Cs, which is basically like people down your hall. They break up the whole ship into Cs, and so Adriatic was the purple one, and it was pretty much our hallway down the 5th deck and then on the other side, so like one whole side of the 5th deck on the ship. And it was great, and you play a lot of fun games and you do a bunch of crazy things. There were like eating challenges and musical chairs and all kinds of stuff, and it was just really a fun-filled day full of like semester at sea spirit. And my most asked question of all time, semester at sea: am I going again? Everybody wants to know if I'm doing semester at sea again. I always hint at it, and like me and my roommate like always comment like SAS SP21. The answer is yes and no. I will not be doing semester at sea in the spring of 21 as of right now. It would have to be a really, really great offer of something to go again in the spring, because I have no classes to take next spring. And the thing is that although I'm going to my junior year of college, I really am academically going into my senior year. No, I'm not graduating early. I'm doing an accelerated master's program through Alabama. So that being said, by next spring, I'll be starting those master's classes, and so I wouldn't be able to take anything on semester at sea, nothing that would even go toward my major or one of my minors. And I have 2.5, kind of 3 minors right now, and still nothing for me to take. So it would have to be a free semester, and although I'm so far ahead, I don't want to fall behind, so and I don't want to leave Tuscaloosa again and all my friends, so I don't think that I'm going. But does that mean it is completely out of the running for fall of 22? Absolutely not. I don't mean to tease, but I have been thinking a lot, like, since I can't go next spring, because I at one point was like, I'm going next spring. I mean, currently semester C technically does have me down for next spring, because of how we can apply a scholarship that they're getting on. Anybody who's on the spring 2020 voyage, we have like money that we can apply toward a fall or a spring voyage, And so that being said, I was thinking maybe the first semester after post-grad. I don't know, it seems so far away and I could have a job and all those kinds of things by then, so I really don't know and I don't want to make any promises, but as of right now it just is not going to work out, and it's really unfortunate because Sydney and I both were like, we're going spring of 21, like it's happening, we're doing it, like we're going to be in our same exact cabin, I'm going to be the Adriatic Sea captain again for Sea Olympics, like all of these grand plans, and it just like, I know everything happens for a reason, so I know something good's gonna come out of the fact that I can't go next spring. But as of right now, I don't think I can do semester at sea again in my undergraduate career, just because I just have so many other things to do and so many other things I want to get done. And I don't feel like I was gypped out of my first semester at sea. Like, yes, it was completely different than what I signed up for, but in the most amazing and incredible and life-changing way still. Doesn't look like it's gonna work out right now. So everyone wants to know why semester at sea. Okay, that's a really nice question. Like I said, have done a lot of cruises and I just absolutely love going on cruises, and when I found out there was such a thing as semester at sea, and I was probably in 8th grade or something at that point, I was like, what is this? I can get college credit on a cruise ship, sailing around the entire world, going to all these insane countries. Yes, like I could have studied abroad anywhere. Like, I'm not super picky. I love traveling, I love being able to go see new things, but thinking about being stuck in one place, I shouldn't say stuck, but like just studying abroad in one place versus being able to see 12 amazing countries, like, and have this amazing experience on the water. It's not everybody's thing, but it totally was my thing, and I always just kind of knew I wanted to do it. And I was absolutely right. Like, I couldn't imagine myself having done anything else this past spring. So that is kind of all of my semester at sea stuff. I know that I have a ton more questions here, but a lot of them are pretty much repeated or something that you can find on the semester at sea website. If there's something I specifically didn't cover and you cannot find it anywhere online on the semester at sea website, because trust me, they're way more knowledgeable than I am, please leave a comment down below or DM me or something. I'd be so happy to answer questions, because I absolutely just like love semester at sea. I recommend it to absolutely anybody who's considering doing it. I know a lot of people took out loans or got amazing scholarships and things like that, so there's definitely a way for everybody to do it. So worth it. Like, I don't regret any penny that I spent abroad, because it has completely shaped me and it's continuing to shape me. And looking back at experiences, I'm like, wow, I was such a different person. Like, I'm so much happier now. Like, if you can even believe that. Like, I just feel like light as a feather. I can do anything. Like, God's creation on this earth is so incredible, and I got to see so much of that, and it's just all like full circle. I absolutely 1000% recommend semester at sea to you. So if you are interested, I will leave obviously all their links down below. So again, I hope that I was able to answer all of your questions. Just make sure to like this video and don't forget to subscribe down below. I would appreciate that so much. And I also will leave my socials down below if you want to follow me on Instagram. Don't just stalk me and stalk all my amazing experiences. Just hit the follow button, because trust me, there's a lot of traveling still left in me and still left in my future. So you're going to want to follow along so you can see that. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you so much, and I will see you later. Bye.